welcome to my YouTube channel. This is gonna be a painting about the basics, and I'm gonna paint a little rock or a couple of rocks at the end. It's my first video, so let's see how this goes.
Alright, so let's get started. When I said the basics, it's pretty much just how I use the brushes. So I'm going to use one of these chalk brushes, just a basic round brush, and of course my favorite, the mixer brush. So how to use it is just simply select it, press Alt, where interesting colors are, and copy it and have like a bunch of different variations of colors, like so you get extra detail for or with less effort. So that's the basics. Pretty straightforward. So let's paint a rock. As I said, a couple of rocks. So first just add a neutral dark color at the background, so we get a better silhouette of the rocks. And then, since we pretty much chose like a neutral coal color, let's make a warmer color for the rock. So paint the shape of the rock on a separate layer. Make a new layer, hold in Alt, make a clipping mask. Now we can paint inside the rock. So back to the basics-ish. We're gonna use 3 values to make the rock 3D. So we got a coal color from the sky, light source, and then the shadow. The 4th color is pretty much just going to be like some ambient occlusion to add like a little more depth to the rock, and it's also going to help us separate the rock from other rocks. So here we go. Now we got this shape, 3D shape of the rock, and just to make a mask. Yes. Use the mixer brush. Make sure sample all layers if you aren't on a layer with everything merged, and then add a bunch of details. So reducing some of the shape of the rock. Just take down the opacity, and I'm also gonna make like a fantasy rock. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's not like a round rock. It's more like something you'd see in a video game, because making rocks in ZBrush is always fun for environment artists, and they don't, or I can't speak for everybody, but mostly it's just layers upon the other rock. So it's like, this is the rock, and we're just gonna add like different layers of height, and this goes like outwards. Very, very efficiently explained. Anyways, I don't like how warm this rock is, so I'm just gonna do some color corrections. Okay, maybe make the background a little lighter now that the rock is darker and colder. Okay, so let's do what we were planning to do with the depth. I'm just gonna go from the light source. I'm gonna add like a little edge edges. Make the same from this side. And it's like, it's too bland. This is better to work with. Okay, so let's just add some values at the bottom. Some weird artifacts-ish. I don't know how to explain it better. Okay, so let's add another rock here. And maybe a third rock here. Okay, so we generally want to avoid tangents, so this is kind of annoying to look at. So let's add the fourth rock. Okay, so now we can use the darker thing again to add some like ambient occlusion things like this, so that the rocks look a little more further apart. Do some overlay, just add detail, then erase like parts of it, just so that we get like this random things. And now I'm seeing like this part is like blending into the other part, so I'm gonna try to like do some value changes. Let's just make like a fake ground so that the rocks look more natural, not like they're floating. Like so. So I'm just painting. So I'm just adding depth to the rocks. Maybe have a different highlight color to make the edges more interesting. Not happy with how this rock just follows the camera perfectly, so I'm gonna make like a point where the shadow colors compete with the top colors. Same here. It's just annoying to look at, like, when everything is like this. I don't want that, so I'm just gonna try to change it. Make every rock a little more unique and create sort of like a balance of angles. Okay, so let's do some color changes. Since this is probably gonna be like a open, clear day, or partially overclouded, I'm gonna add some blues, but not fully, like a little opacity, just to create like the warm and the cold color, so that they compete and make the rocks a little more interesting. Maybe add like a specific sunspot. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe can we do it here and here, so we get some bounce lights. Just a lighten layer. Then we get like the light bounces onto the back of this rock. I don't know the dimensions, but I would assume this is like a big gap between these rocks. But we still, so maybe we're not getting bounce lights back here. A little further here. Something like that, I don't know. Like you get like a little vague blending of colors here too. So it's nice for nature paintings or stuff that is of nature, because colors, like apart from flowers and like organic stuff, they might tend to have brighter colors, but like rocks, sand, anything gravel or granite, I suppose, just sort of blends together, I find. Maybe add some dents. Like at some point something hit it and made like I said, a dent. So at this point I can just go on forever and render. Like this can be just rocks like way in the background, so when you zoom out, like this is I feel good enough for concept art. Don't want to spend too much time on that. Also, this is not from any reference. I would suggest using reference all the time, unless you're like a super skilled person of remembering stuff, but using reference just makes this so much more fun. It's like you get to paint and paint like concept art or whatever you're doing and do a study at the same time, so it's a win-win. You get to practice and you get to develop stuff. Use reference. It's not a cheat or it says reusing reference is cheating. Is just wrong. Simple as that. This is probably my favorite part, just doodling random lines with a very tiny standard brush. Just adds so much tiny character. But it's, unless you want to do it, it's not super necessary. Detail does not equal better concept art. It but that's but concept art is probably something I should speak on a different video. I got many plans. So there we go. How I paint rocks on the fly.
So there it is, how I paint rocks. I would love to know what you think about the video, and if you have any thoughts, questions, suggestions on what I should do next, please leave them in the comment section, and have a nice day.